if he gets hasted by somebody. Do audio.
Welcome everybody to Legendary Tales. I have to
do.
fix the UI while someone does a recap if possible.
Oh god, I'm cut in half. Oh god.
Yep, you are here in two places.
I will do a recap, but first I just want to say audio issues. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so last session we finally learned the name of the paladin that smells like blueberries, who is the Soulforged that we went to find in Core. The name is Zeriel Dubois. I'm saying that right. Zeriel?
Zyriel
Zeriel?
Dubois.
Zeriel Dubois.
Ariel the pussy.
We wound up in a bit of a labyrinth and finding our way through the labyrinth with a few traps and an acid floor, some things of that nature. Found a room that contained a throne in which was sat the remains of Emperor Shuram II, wearing a crown that gets bolted to your face so that they can torture your face off. Since we needed some information out of that dude, we just decided it would be easier to take everything but the body and and the crown. Also looted a neat staff from that room. And yeah, continued on through the labyrinth, trying to find our way out. Found a room full of definitely not at all traps that were mimic shaped like chests and a rug. Had a little bit of a fight there, and then since we were being pursued through that labyrinth, we decided to escape through what was effectively a port key. No, copyright. It was a key to portals to travel us out of there. We wound up in a nowhere place, and then because I guess Rep had mentioned the bathhouse in the astral plane, we went to the bathhouse and we were talking to Skink and had a short conversation with her. Then we had a short conversation with the disembodied head of Emperor Shuram II, and now we have preserved that head so that we have a plan to go ahead and use that as evidence to convict Yvonne of killing the former emperor. And we were also informed that in order to get back to the warbands, we are going to need to go to the southwest, I believe it was, to find a door to get us out of the astral plane. That's all I have in my terrible notes from last session.
That's pretty much it. As far as I know.
I think so. That was the highlights. I don't know if anybody did anything else happen that's notable.
Did you mention the old man by the river?
I did not mention the old man by the river, who we did not release. He's still locked up. There was a prisoner inside that labyrinth. His name was Old Man by the River. He his phalanges, all of his phalanges were made of knives. His arms were knives, his hands were knives, his feet were knives, his legs were knives. They call him the Old Man by the River, but I was pretty sure his name was Stumps. So we were thinking of maybe releasing him so that he could go murder some people for us. But we were going to do that on our way out of the labyrinth, and unfortunately, we didn't go out the same way we came in, so that didn't happen.
I think they were well, he was wanting to kill the god that... Oh, fuck, I forgot. Well, he wanted to kill the god that led us down here in the first place.
Yeah.
The name.
Enfold the ill-tempered.
Enfold the ill-tempered, yeah.
He wanted to remove everyone in his bloodline.
Yeah, so we're kind of like, yeah, no, really not.
I feel like we had tried to make some sort of deal with him, but I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down. Doesn't matter. He's still locked up.
He's in jail.
Yeah. So you guys are currently sitting in the bathhouse with Skink, and you guys have rested for the last couple hours. You feel much better than you did before. Yeah. And with Zyriel, he looks at you and he says, "We should probably be going. I feel like we are not in a good place anyway." He stands up.
Last we left off, we're trying to find like a portal. Is that what we?
Yep.
A door.
Door.
Not a portal, a puerta.
I take out my compass. Is it doing anything?
It is.
Still pointing southeast. Or
It is
southwest?
pointing southwest. Yes, but all of the arrows.
Got it. Well, we should probably go back out to the front of the bathhouse.
Is the compass pointing at me? Am I the door?
I walk behind the technician with the compass.
It continues to point southwest.
I'm sorry, technician. You don't seem to be the door.
That is a shame.
I put my clothes back on.
Mm-hmm.
And to say bye, Skink.
Goodbye. She just waves at you. Ilya and Artur are going to hang out. They're just not coming with you for the time being. I believe Artur wants to talk to Skink some more. But Skink is also a planeswalker, so not really an issue.
Artur the Drake wants to talk to Skink some more?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, as you do.
I don't speak Drake.
Draconic.
So, this way. Lower
Yeah.
chick, this way? Yes?
I can't physically move my character. So.
Oh, sorry. I meant that's why I went to there. I unpaused it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which
Door.
side was male? Oh wait, it does. They're both the same. That's right, because this is the male side.
I believe this was the female side because we had originally gone the other side and got.
That's right.
yeeted
Skink
over.
and Evie. Yeah. Oh gosh. Where are the urinals?
Urinals? What?
This is a bathhouse. Please do not poop in the shower.
For lack of a good astral plane map, which maps don't really exist in most of the modern content of D&D, or at least good ones. We're just gonna hang out in the world map because I like it. So you guys leave the bathhouse, and you're immediately met with a different view than when you were here last. Last time it was just a big giant lake of fog essentially. You come out and you're met with a huge rocky crag. So you have directly in front of you there's a large hill that goes downward into a valley, and on both sides of that valley are huge rocky cliffs that jut outward, and above you looking like spines all the way down.
Does Skink come with us, or is she still in the bathhouse talking to the Drake?
No, Skink is talking with Artur and Ilya.
This looks different.
Say, does this look like anything that we would have seen in the non-astral plane? Or is this all exciting and new?
It's all exciting and new.
So this is you said it's a valley with cliffs on either side, so a canyon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What size?
Grand Canyon size. Enormous.
We should take the risk that this goes where we would like it to, because walking around could take a very long time.
Holding out the compass, does the canyon follow the southwest?
It does.
Well, this is convenient. Might as well get a move on. I start like meandering southwest.
Be on the lookout for pterodactyls, especially urinating ones. You have to spot them. You can't hear them because the P is silent. Ha, ha, ha. Joke complete.
I forgot to reset the counter, so let me go ahead and set that to 1. Yeah, so you make your way down into the canyon, and the canyon itself starts a considerable amount higher than where you currently are. You're sat at, like, the mouth of it, but it doesn't go up and around the sides. The walls already exist, and they go all the way down. They come out these rocks, very spiky protrusions at the top. As you're walking down this sort of, like, trail, everyone make a perception check, please. Starting off strong. Please, no ones. Please, just... I'd like to do one session where no one rolls a nat 1 right away. That was close. No ones! Woo! No ones. Okay. Technician, you notice... you notice that... As you're going down, you notice that a lot of the walls underneath the spikes are, like, smooth. Not, like, shine finish smooth, but smooth enough that it seems unnatural.
These walls, they are unnaturally smooth. Perhaps this
How
was
wide
actually
is the
carved
canyon?
by a river.
The canyon itself is about a mile wide.
Okay, so we're not close to an edge anyway.
No, but you can see that it doesn't, like, the Grand Canyon, when you're in there, you can see like the sedimentary rock that has, like, bands of things like that. You could see that, but the vast majority of it is perfectly smooth.
You can all swim, right?
Yeah.
Just in case there's a flash flood in this astral plane.
Usually you don't swim through flash floods, but it'd help.
Oh. But I need to plan to hold any if water decides to come knock us on our butts.
And Technician, with your nat 20, and Vidar, faintly, very faintly, Vidar, you can feel a small, like, vibration. Like a distant sort of vibration happening.
Is it rhythmic?
It is.
Is it good?
No. It is not at that level. It's more of a, like, a pulse. Every once in a while you can hear it.
I'm not sure if we need to be watching out for pterodactyls, but wasn't there something that we were worried about being hunted by last time we were here?
The thing we were worried about being hunted by the last time we were here was actually back in the material plane. It was the witch hunters. Here, well, there is only the legend.
I thought we had rushed into the bathhouse because there was some sort of astral beast that consumes non-astral entities.
Yes, that legend.
Either way,
I did not see an astral
moving.
beast that consumes non-astral entities. Did you?
I do not, but I feel like we should be moving. Staying in one place for too long might not be good.
So you guys walk along, and the only way to go is you walk down to the bottom of the canyon. At the bottom of the canyon, there's a very slow-moving river, but it does not appear to be made of water. It appears to be made of some sort of viscous liquid. Not quite gel, but not quite water. It's black in color.
Is it moving?
It is?
Spiders again?
No?
Do I believe you?
I don't know. If you want to go inspect it, you
Insight
can.
check on the DM.
If you want to go inspect it, you can.
All right, be right back. Driving to Denver. Where's the Jeep keys?
Yeah.
How fast is it moving?
If you were to step into it, you might have a hard time getting out of it.
Because of it's sticky?
No, because of how much it
looks
weighs.
like
It looks
molasses.
like it weighs a lot. Yeah.
Or moving tar?
Yep.
But
molasses.
it's moving towards us.
It's moving. You guys are currently walking down into the valley, and the canyon comes from high elevation to low elevation where you are, and then continues going down elevation past you.
So it's moving down past us currently. If we walked up to it. So like, is it like white water rafting speeds? Is it a steady stream?
It appears to be a fairly steady stream of what essentially, if you were to imagine a molasses moving down a stream, that's what it looks like, yeah. And with Technician and Vidar's extremely high perception checks, you can actually see this black liquid on the upper portions of the wall as well.
This must be what has carved the canyon. Moving slowly with a lot of mass would have made these very, very smooth. Like sanding. You can find more fun facts about sanding in my book, 101 Ways to Sand.
But there is a
Have you
clear
ever written a
path for us
book,
to walk along,
Technician?
right?
Say again, Vidar?
I said there is a clear path for us to walk along. It's
Yes.
not just the entire floor is
Yes, it's there's very clearly like two banks on the side. Like the whole river itself is probably like 50 feet wide total. And then outside of that, it goes like up a mile, but then it like curves down into a bowl, almost like a whole. It looks like almost a perfect cylinder. At the very bottom of it, there's another channel that has that molasses flowing through it. So there are a couple banks. There's a bank on each side.
Rep is gonna like just barely dip a finger in to inspect the liquid, the viscous liquid.
Are you touching it?
Yes, I'm touching it.
Okay. You dip your finger in it, and as you pull your finger out, it stretches in a long like string, sort of like cheese, like really melty cheese does, and then eventually breaks off and like goes off of. It doesn't fully go off your finger, but it basically lays on the ground. And as you're like inspecting it, it does appear to be made of some sort of oil or tar. You're not really sure what it is. But it smells vaguely of roast chicken. Or cooking animal fats.
Does the animal fat smell happy?
Ilya's not here to tell you that.
This substance is most likely made from rendered animal fats, or at least it smells like it. There's a very good chance, I believe, it might be flammable. Should I light
One
the
way to
river
find
on
out.
fire?
Hmm?
Should I light the river on fire?
Zariel sort of looks back at you. He says, I would not. We do not know where we are. We do not know if there are enemies abound. So I'll be very careful.
If enemies around, we light it on fire and then we push them into it.
Yes, but we wait to light on fire until they make themselves apparent.
Okay.
At least let's
But
agree.
you're okay with the pushing in part.
Yes, let's agree to not light the fire, because we don't know what smoke comes out of it, and if we can even
Zarel-
breathe said smoke.
Zarel, well, that is not a problem for me. Zarel, you are correct. We should maintain the element of surprise.
It's surprise.
Surprise!
Oh,
Ew.
there's
Ew.
another bad joke. Let's go and
Oh,
hit that
come on.
one.
It's quality. That's quality.
It's just because it's quality doesn't mean it's not bad. There are quality bad jokes, my friend.
That got a groan out of me. That's definitely a bad joke.
Oh yeah.
Caddies have fallen.
Okay.
How wide are the paths? You said is it like we would fit 2 people side by side on the path?
Oh no, all of you could walk abreast on this path if you wanted to.
Okay. It's not like teetering.
No.
You might fall off and die.
This is like a solid rock. There's like a little bit of dirt and dust on it. Just like a standard hiking trail essentially. Except it's very wide.
We should continue forward. To Vidar's point, we do not know if there's anything coming to find us.
Would we be able to tell if the vibrations that we felt were this molasses river or if it was something else?
It would have been something else.
Yeah, Vidar's gonna start walking.
For the molasses river, if it was a vibration, it would have been very consistent. This was not. This was more pulsing than anything else.
We can't yeet stone between planes, correct? Can we
Well,
use the sending
things-
stones?
I believe setting stones have to be on the same plane.
I start walking down the path.
Sending as a spell does not have to be on the same plane. As I recall, sending stones basically cast sending.
Yep.
Should we perhaps send a message back to the warbands and let them know that we are in a different plane, with that we have found another Soulforged?
We could try. I would calculate that being a 95.5% chance of success.
Under what calculations?
They are on another plane. Communicating between 2 planes of existence does in fact carry a risk of failure of approximately 4.5%.
How large is your data set, technician?
I am just good at magic.
I don't know enough about magic to refute your claims, technician, but I am suspicious of you and your funny numbers.
Just out of character, it's actually in there. There's a 5% chance of failure if you're trying to communicate across planes. No joke.
Is it like a roll and if you get a 1, you fail?
I mean, it's Devin's call. He could roll whatever and just say, nope, fails.
No, I'll let it happen if you want to use the setting stone.
How does day-night cycle work in Astral Plane?
I don't think there's either a sun or moon.
It doesn't. There is no.
Yeah.
It's the same
So
time
we get
all the
infinite
time.
sense.
Time is a made-up construct to express gravity and the Earth's the planet's rotation around the star. Since this is neither a planet nor does it have a rotation around a star, time as a concept does not exist here.
So
They just keep
items
walking.
in the astral plane that require like a certain amount of time just assumes that a long rest will reset them. That is like the general rule of thumb, is that if you take a long rest, it usually resets that item. Because you're only really going to be resting there for that long once per day anyway. So
Yeah.
So this river flows as far as the eye can see into the horizon of the canyon
Yep.
so far.
And then you basically reach down to the very bottom where you can actually, where Technician does his thing. You have a choice. Essentially, it goes southwest, it goes up in elevation, and then northeast, it goes down in elevation.
When we get to the crossroad, I'm gonna look to the compass, or Loershik in the compass. I vote we just keep following whichever direction the compass says, regardless of elevation. Anytime the road splits, we follow it.
If we had
Staring
to
at the
choose,
compass. Good.
if we had to choose going up or down, we should go up because falling down is much easier than climbing up.
He's not wrong.
Which way is the compass pointing?
You pull out the compass, and one of the arrows is pointing northeast. Two of the arrows are pointing southwest.
Is there a distinction between the arrows, or they all look the same?
There's one big arrow, and then there's two smaller arrows. One of the big arrow and a small arrow are pointing southwest, and then there's another small arrow. The third small arrow the second small arrow is pointing to the northeast.
Well, this is a strange predicament. I'm not quite sure what these arrows mean. I can only imagine that the big arrow is the closest Soulforged. But this may indicate that there is a Soulforged in this astral plane. Because unless there's a second door, I just kind of hold the compass out for other people to take a gander. Technician, when we had this originally, we were told how it works. Then they made the adjustments. Is there any way you could try to identify it and see if there's a new way that we should be reading this?
Let me look at this and check my knowledge of magic stuff. Can't even think of a good sentence for that. Can I Arcana check the compass, please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Don't you have identify?
I do. That's just going to tell us about the compass itself, not about what it's doing. That's sort of the problem. Identify, and an object identifies the objects. So
It doesn't always tell you exactly how it works.
The compass appears to be made of compass.
That it does.
You're looking at the compass, Technician, and as you're looking at it, you're like inspecting it closely, watching like the hands move and stuff as you're sitting at this crossroads. The hand to the northeast appears to be darkening in a pulse very slightly, while the other two have no such effect.
Is that pulse in time or correlated to the vibration that we're feeling?
It is.
Whatever this is pointing at is already moving towards us.
Mission, do you have your telescope, your lens on you?
The looking glass, yes. Oh, no. No, because before we went to court, I stashed all my stuff, including Defender. So I've literally got a hand axe and a dagger and like rations and a bunch of mundane stuff. No, I do not. That is back at the warbands.
And it probably is wise for us to move quickly away from whatever might be moving towards us that seems to be pulsing.
Here's a thought. What is directly to the northeast of us now is actually Ilya. There was no arrow to the northeast when we were in the bathhouse. Since we have left the bathhouse, there's now an arrow to the northeast. Is Ilya a Soulforged with The great power of nose.
Or is skink a soulforged?
With the power of bath?
Perhaps,
I do not follow.
Perhaps being best girl is a power in itself.
Perhaps the real power is the best girl we met along the way. I do not know. Whatever it is pointing to in the northeast, it is coming to us. We should continue southwest. If we get to the door, we can wait for whatever is coming from the northeast. If it is hostile, we can escape. If it is not, we can greet it.
But it also might
To your
follow
point.
us through the door as well.
And if it is the soulforged, it'd be difficult for us to actually get back into this plane. Uzma might be able to send us here, but not with ease.
I think
Not all of us.
I think we all know the answer to this question about which Soulforged that could possibly be. There's only one Soulforged who knows what they are.
Boy,
That is not true.
Well, from
We
what
met one Soulforged who knew exactly what she was.
yes, but you vetted her, correct?
Yes. It would stand to reason that the Soulforged, if it is here and following us, is probably bad news.
So I think going through the door as soon as possible should be our option. Do not wait, because if he knows where we are, he can follow us through. Or they can.
We should continue southwest.
I would keep the compass out.
Sabas, how far do you need to? How far can you be from somebody to do the creepy head talking? Or Vidar, how far do you need to be to?
So I was just gonna whisper telepathically to Loishik. You mean like this? Does this make you uncomfortable?
It's not natural. So, you know that.
No. I mean, Cyrus is gonna like look at like just rap in general and then look back at Loishik and go, alright, I take it. I get the point.
Can either of you communicate with Ilya or Skink from here?
No.
Ask them if they're okay.
It's not that far of a range for me.
I might have been able to, but I must be close to establish the initial connection.
I'm not actually sure what the range of that feed is. I gotta go find it.
We should have put Skink and Ilya and Artur into our hole and then brought the hole with us through. And then Skink can come
That
home.
is not how my hole works. Also, it is a very bad idea to open holes like my hole in the astral plane.
So let's get a move on.
Okay.
I start walking.
Yes.
And you
I
guys
start quickly walking.
you guys are currently on the what would be the western side, the western bank. So you'd be on the essentially, since it goes southwest, you'd be on the western or the eastern side of the river at the moment. Sorry. You'd be on the, if you're looking at a map, you'd be on the right side of the river. And yeah. Loish, do you keep the compass out the whole time or no?
Yeah, I just keep an eye on it to see if it starts to move in a different direction, like the specific arrow, or if we need to change our pace or direction.
Okay. So you guys walk for about an hour. You walk for about an hour. And on that hour mark, I need all of you to make a perception check, please.
Quick side note, D&D Beyond imported and doubled my my armor, but there are two different types of plate, both +2. I don't know which one to delete.
I have random duplicates of items on my inventory all over the place. I just leave them alone because they keep coming back. So I just kind of assume that if I delete them, something will just. Something is like putting them there. I'm generating bad karma with a little gremlin inside the VTT servers.
No, it's the import. It's always the import.
Yeah, well, I'll figure it out on the break. Because I did check a box that said leave anything that isn't on the D&D Beyond sheet alone. So it basically checks D&D Beyond first, and then if it's not on there, it leaves it. But I don't know if I updated properly or not. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out on the break, but it's okay.
The diff comparator is wrong. It's looking at the two items and deciding that they're different, and I'm going to guess it's based on the object ID.
Yeah, probably. Or like the original class or whatever. Okay, so we have, wow, some pretty incredible rolls across the board, except for Technician, which is weird. Vidar, Loershik, and Sabas, all of you, as you're moving along, specifically Loershik and Sabas, you two can feel that pulsing sort of like weird vibration. And as you've traveled, you've noticed more and more little rocks and debris falling from the upper edges, and the dirt and dust and rocks underneath your feet have now begun to shift very slightly during these pulses that happen once every like 10 seconds.
That's not good. Probably.
Do we see anything on the horizon, like objects, buildings, clouds, anything that's like feels like not just astral plane abyss?
Ahead of you or behind you?
The direction in which we are walking towards to try to get to the portal.
Yes, you do notice something. In the distance, there is an enormous set of protrusions coming directly from the rock or laying on top of it. You can't really tell the difference because it's all just blending into a giant gray sort of blob, but you could definitely see that there are some discolored sort of rib. For lack of a better term, they're sort of like sort of rocky protrusions that come out at a regular interval all the way down. So they look sort of like ribs or almost like threads on a screw.
Are they perpendicular to the way we're walking, or would they be parallel with the direction?
They're perpendicular.
I want to figure out how far away they might be, since I don't have the sun or shadows or anything like that. Do I do a nature check? How do I determine how long it might take us to get to these protrusions?
Do like an investigation, probably. Maybe an hour, 2 hours.
It's going to take us some time, but there are some rocks up ahead. The door may be there.
Why? Are you concerned there's something behind us? And then Rep Rap is going to turn around and inspect the opposite horizon. Another perception, or?
Yes. As you turn around, you can see a very large, dark object moving around the entire width of the canyon, coming around the bend.
Oh.
Very slowly.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yes, let us keep moving. There's a large, dark object coming this way.
But if you gotta turn around and look, is that just a tidal wave of the black molasses stuff coming at us? Or is it actually something?
No, it's not black molasses. It's too light. It's much lighter than the black molasses. Because if you look up, like, because you guys are walking up in elevation, As you look up, you can see the black molasses is very, very dark. This is not as dark as that.
Vidar's going to keep walking, but faster.
Travis is going to be running.
Do I run faster on all fours?
No. You are not designed to run on all fours as a species.
I'm going to anyway.
Sure. You guys start running up in elevation. You get a little winded later on. I'm gonna say that you run for like 30 minutes, and turning around, that object has not gotten any smaller. In fact, it's gotten much bigger. If anyone would like to make a nature or arcana check.
Fucking give me a 2.
You still got an 11 though. That's pretty good.
Bad game.
Technician, you're not really sure what it is, but combined with Sabis, it looks like a maggot. Like a mile-wide maggot.
No, like, do not enjoy.
Just out of character, that's going to be the next name of my metal band.
Mile-wide maggot?
Mile Wide Maggot. We only do fat core metal.
But yeah, it looks like a giant worm, but specifically a larval fly. So it's got a little tiny beady face on it, and this giant fat like blobs are propelling it forward.
It would probably be adorable if it was not so large. But that is a giant mild. Never mind.
Wow, that was almost
Wild.
A wild-eyed maggot.
When you say tiny face, tiny like in relation to the fact that it is 1 mile wide, or tiny as in like absurdly tiny little speck on this giant enormous blob?
tiny in perspective.
That doesn't answer the question.
So have you ever Googled what a maggot looks like?
No, thank you.
They have they literally, compared to their whole bodies, their face is like a little tiny speck that just has 2 eyes and a mouth on it. And that's it. So it's a little tiny face on this like really fat body. They're like, they can be pretty big. Some like the horsefly maggots are enormous, but
I reject. I sort of have to reject the basis of this entire argument, because there's no way that everybody that enters basic has the exact same face.
maybe in the Marines, but
R. Lee Ermey would have laughed his ass off at that joke.
oh yeah. But yeah, you can see just like two black eyes, and then like a little mouth as it like sort of wriggles its way towards you.
At the current pace that we're at, if we keep running, will we likely get to Lower Shik's air quotes door before the thing catches us?
Well, as Lorshik keeps checking as Lorshik keeps checking the compass, you do realize that the big and small arrow that were pointing southwest have started moving a considerable amount. The only problem that you find out is that they are on the other side of the river.
I have some terrible news. We need to cross the river, according to the compass. Broomsticks.
That is not a problem. How wide is the river?
How wide is the river?
Mm-hmm.
It's around 50 feet.
That is a bit of a problem.
We could do several trips with the broomsticks, or I could simply start teleporting people.
Level 11.
Hmm?
That's new.
Hmm?
So, okay, before I get up to shenanigans here, we did have a long rest. We leveled before or after the long rest?
During.
During. Okay. Is a dagger a tool?
No. That dagger's a weapon.
My tools are integrated into my person, so theoretically I could take a tool and use it as an arcane focus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I have taken one of my tools off my person, used my spell storing item to store vortex warp.
Okay.
Savis is going to just use shape water to freeze 5-section squares of water and just walk across.
It's not water.
Damn it. I was hoping that would work.
Lowerchik, would you like to join me in this adventure?
As I see you start taking parts from your body, I reach into my bag and pull out a lock that I had stolen from a door and offer it to you. Do you want this?
No, I unfortunately cannot use a lock as a spellcasting focus. It did have to be a spellcasting focus. I have figured out how to store a spell. This particular spell moves things and people. Are you willing?
I look over to Vidar to see if he has the 2 broomsticks out.
Yeah, I got the 2 broomsticks out. But
You know, it
Look
probably
to
makes
them
more
to other
sense
people.
for me to take the broomstick. I don't think Sabas has legs to be able to balance on the broomstick. So, Sabas, do you want to do technician's shenanigans?
Sure.
My shenanigans are completely safe. This time. Are you willing?
Is there a grenade involved?
Not that I am aware of. Are you willing?
Yes.
All right. So Rep is going to use one of the 5 charges in this spell storing item to cast Vortex Warp on the willing Sabas to move her to the other side of the river,
Okay.
which I assume is an unoccupied space that fits the criteria of Vortex Warp.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. It was willing, so blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just double checking to see if there's any like ill effects from vortex warping.
No.
Technically, it has a Constitution save, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to flavor that.
No. If she's willing to do it, I'm not. I assume the con save is just trying to physically resist being moved, since you're warping space around the person.
Yeah.
Okay, Sabas, you bamf onto the other side of the river in a safe space.
Savis should just kind of like sit there and then sit down for a second, just take very deep breaths, having not enjoyed being moved very rapidly across a river.
Rep is just going to turn to Lower Chick and go, "Ta-da! Are you willing?"
Quick meta question.
Mm-hmm.
The teleportation that I have, I can only go 10 times D8.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll less than 5, do I have to use the teleportation? Because technically I'm throwing one of my psychic blades and then teleporting to that. If I don't throw it far enough, can I just not teleport to it and try again with a different one?
For the sake of rules as written, I really, really, really want, for the sake of comedy, I want to say no. I want to say that you'd have to basically deal with what you deal with, especially since you have a broom of flying on your person. If you want to teleport, you could try. That's what I'm going to say there. That's what I'm going to say.
I was going to let other people use the brooms and then teleport myself across. Be efficient about things.
I reached out, indicating that I want to take a broom while nervously looking back at Technician.
Luerchik, are you willing?
The yeeting already, it makes me sick. I don't know about this.
Vidar's going to give Lowershik a broom and give Zerial the other broom. And then basically as he's hitting the broom, just like yeet one of his daggers across the river.
Okay.
It says D10. Did I level up? I can do a D10 now?
Can you do it? Is your psychic thing a D10 now? Hold on.
I would bet that happened with 11. That sounds like a kind of 11 thing. It's usually like 7, 9, 11. That's where that stuff happens.
True. Where is it? 11th level Z10. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel so much better about this.
You throw it.
That doesn't even make it to the edge of the river.
No, it doesn't. You throw it, and it's like, it just lays right at your feet, and it's like,
That is a neat trick. Vidar, are you willing?
Okay. Was that the first time that Vidar's actually done that?
yeah.
Okay, I think I understand how this works now. I'm gonna throw another one.
Okay.
Vidar, you said you understood. I'm not sure you understand.
Do the blades, like, are they sticking in the like goop? Just like, I assume they're just like falling in and just sticking there.
Yeah.
I want to fly over to the one he just threw because he starts whipping these as soon as we get on the brooms. I want to try to pick up the first one. Can I just like pull it out of the goop and shake this stuff off of it?
Yeah.
I fly back to Vidar and I try to throw it across over the river.
Go ahead and make a dexterity plus proficiency. So just do like a dexterity ability check, but then add your proficiency to it as a thing. The psychic blade sticks into the river on the other side.
Into the river or into the ground?
Onto the ground on the other side.
I just hop on the broom and fly over to where it lay. And then I pick it up and I throw it back over the river to the
Yeah. The dagger sticks at your feet, Vidar.
I believe he's providing a target. Aim for Luerchik.
Yeah, I'm gonna aim for Lowershik's feet. This is definitely not an issue.
There you go. You throw the dagger.
Basically, as a dagger hits the ground, dagger disappears and Vidar pops up where that was.
I hand Vidar his broom.
Sabas compliments his Vidar's knife.
All right, technician, what are you doing? You're the only one on the other side.
Ramprap, are you willing? Well, I need to think about this for a second. Yes. Think. Vortex warp. Yep.
He lands on the other side. All of you are on the other side. Make a perception check for me, please. Loeshik and Vidar, you notice not only the every time the maggot moves, you feel like the vibration in the rocks will come down, but you notice a doo-ga-doo, 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 echoing throughout the canyon.
Does anyone else hear that?
Salas will telepathy speed to Lorishik. Hear what?
It sounds like death. We
Or
should keep
thumping.
moving and point to the compass again.
I look down at the compass. It's still pointing to the screw thing.
It is.
I pick up pace and start jogging quickly.
Gonna follow.
Following.
Okay. You start running, heading upwards, up towards the ribbed section. Do any of you have medicine as a skill proficiency?
No.
No.
My passive medicine is 11.
I'll let all of you make medicine checks if you would like.
Speaking of medicine checks, I should take my meds that I didn't take today.
As you're coming up, over into this ribbed section, you realize that they are not ribs. They are petrified blood vessels. And you are standing in some sort of petrified muscle or body part. You're not really sure what.
Well, that's just delightful, isn't it?
Sorry, did I also realize that with an 8, or am I
No.
dumb?
You're dumb.
Okay. I'm dumb.
Vidar is going to call this out and say, "This looks like we are in the body of something."
Yeah,
I
that
hope
sounds like astral plane.
I hope that the portal is not an orifice in this body. Unless that makes it closer, and then I'm willing to try anything.
God damn it.
By definition, aren't all portals orifici? Orifices? Orifices.
Are we now like standing next to the blood vessels?
You are.
Is there anything that stands out as if it might be a doorway or?
There's a small hole there's a bunch of holes that go all the way down, and one of them is sort of putting off a green glow all the way down at the end of this sort of like section.
Looking at the compass, it's pointing towards that green hole.
Mm-hmm.
There's something glowing over there. I point towards the green hole and start quickly moving to that way.
As you do that, from behind you, all of you can feel the vibrations. And as you like look down, you see. Where are you? You see this. Riding on a horse, dressed in similar armor. Riding
What kind of horse?
8 legs.
Spider horse. Spider horse.
Is he yelling anything about Sylvanas? Oh, I mean,
No. It's not the Lich King. But your compass is pointing directly at him.
wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a spyglass right now, as I'm now full pace sprinting towards this green glowing hole?
Samus is sprinting slightly faster than the Lowershik towards the green glowing hole.
Vidar is also running very quickly. As he's riding after you, he pulls out something and he swings it at the sky, and the sky tears open in that starscape that you saw last time you were on the world. It rips open, and all at once, all of the stars in the sky start blinking and looking at you as though they're eyeballs.
We should leave.
At the current pace, are we going to make it to the green hole before this guy gets to us?
It's going to be very close.
And he's on the same side of the river as us?
He is.
I can delay him, if necessary.
Zyriel is absolutely running with you guys as fast as he possibly can. What are you guys doing? All of you are sprinting as fast as you can.
Yeah, Reprap's trying to keep a distance check on this guy.
Okay.
Dude definitely would like to react if he comes within 85 feet.
85 feet? Okay.
85 feet?
I reach into my bag and while I'm running, and I pull out the bottle of fire breath and just keep it in my hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to drink it if he gets within 85 feet.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything prepped and ready to go?
My own two legs running further and further. I don't really have cast mini nuclear bombs, so I can't really do much. Besides a run.
Yeah, Vidar's not prepping anything. He would have been prepping the grenade that nobody knows about, but doesn't.
If he gets within 60 feet of us, or Savis specifically, Savis is going to just tell him to fuck off.
Fair enough.
That's it. Like, just repeatedly in every language that she knows.
Okay.
And languages she doesn't. She's gonna make up shit on the spot. That sounds like fuck off.
All right. So his. All right. Let me find out something real quick. Okay. So he's currently moving at 4 times the speed that you guys are at most. I'm gonna say, let's leave it down to 2 higher lows if he catches up with you, because it's very close. And we're gonna leave it 50-50 on this one. If you say high and you roll high, that pushes him back a little bit, but you have to do it 2 times in a row for him not to catch you. So who's saying it?
Who's feeling lucky?
I vote not Rev Rap because he already rolled his D20 for the session.
Yeah, I use up all my luck.
And the dark just pointed up at me, so I guess that means me. Alright.
High or low?
Low.
Roll.
Fuck.
Okay.
Low again.
Okay, 2 in a row. Okay, so it's tied, which means he will have 1 round that he will be within 85 feet, but he's not just going to be within 85 feet. He's going to be very close as you guys reach the doorway. And Sabas, I will let you prepare one thing because you will be there considerably before the rest of the group will. Vidar, what's your movement speed?
40.
Okay, so you and
Okay.
Vidar are both going to be there way before Low Airshake Technician and Zyreel are. So
what the fuck is this door? Is it just like a door, or is it a portal? Is it just what's sitting out in the middle of this?
it appears so.
opening?
Where you are, you're sitting in a mile-wide canyon, and it's covered in these ribs that as you're closer to it, they look like tiny little capillary blood vessels that have sort of solidified. And in between two of these capillaries, you have this large crack in the flesh, and outside of that flesh is coming that sickly green teal color that Kuzma always has coming off of his eyes. It's that color, but it's like a crack in the wall.
And how large is this crack in the wall?
You would have to squeeze through it.
Okay.
Are you allowed to prepare 2 reactions?
No.
No.
You only get 1 reaction, 1 bonus action, 1 action. That's all you're allowed. No, have more fun. Not allowed. Bad. Bonk.
Unless you're a fighter can have 2 actions, but nothing more than that.
Okay, so I can. So the potion is 1 action technically. Drink. I want to take the bark shield off my back and put it on my arm opposite of the arm I'm carrying the fire breath in.
Okay.
Which is technically a reaction.
Okay. Okay, and then Technician, you have something ready as well?
I do. Mine is a reaction to as he comes into 85-foot range.
Okay. So he's going to be entering. So, okay. So he's currently moving at 240 feet per turn. So the 85 feet is going to be you guys are standing at the crack. I will say that if you go on your turn and you go through it, that's what you're doing for your turn. If you're not, then you're going to be potentially fighting with this man.
Okay, so what is the material surrounding this crack made of? Is it like a hard stone? Is it like a soft stone?
It would be a soft stone, almost like chalk.
And how is this crack like a constant? You have to like squeeze it and keep squeezing, or is it just an entrance?
You can't tell because that sort of energy field is right at the edge of it. It's like an inch or 2 in.
So Savas is gonna telepathically ask if we're fighting or fucking running away to everyone.
I just keep thinking to myself, or thinking, run.
I can't read your thoughts, by the way. I can send you stuff, but I can't read your shit.
Hers is not 2 ways.
Until I activate it.
We should run. We should run.
Okay, Savas is going to get there first and hope that it's a narrow entryway, and then I'm going to spend my 6 seconds hoping to knock out you said it's basically chalk, which is not going to have the best structural integrity. Use my pickaxe and just try and break out chunks of the wall to make it easier to go through. Just like 2 large hits, 2 large chunks.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you basically, as you're running, you see that it's like chalk. You pull out your pickaxe, you're like, and 2 large chunks sort of widen the portal quite significantly, actually, that you don't have to squeeze through it anymore.
Okay, Savas is going to usher Vidar through, and while also continuing just to fucking hit it until they catch up and then go through herself.
Vidar, are you going through?
Yeah, but before it goes through, Vidar is going to look back at the thing in an ancient tongue, whatever it is that the Moonball Void people speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yell out that Void has granted us passage. You will leave us alone and let us pass.
Okay. Make a persuasion check, please. Where's my boy at? There you are.
if that fails, I can add another D10 to it.
He actually stops in his tracks.
So to add some flavor to this, Vidar has the whole like one eye is slightly different color than the other one, because of the whole cross and grits thing or whatever I think.
Mhm.
But when he turns around, instead of being like the blue and slight off blue, the one eye is blue like it normally is, and the discolored one is green. And then he yells out the stuff, and basically is pretending to be an emissary of Void.
So as he like stops, his horse sort of comes up, and you see that it does actually have 8 legs that are sort of awkwardly put off from one another. And as he does that, he has his sword out and he has a shield. And he takes the sword and he looks down at you. And he just goes, boom, and a giant tear opens up, and his horse and he walk through it, and it closes up behind him.
And then Vidar goes through the portal. Not gonna stick around and find out what that was about to do.
Portal time.
Insane.
Lorshik and Technician, what do you do? You see,
Yeah, we portal the fuck out.
you hear Vidar yell that as he runs to the portal, and the creature sort of stops, cuts open a portal with his sword, and walks through it, and the portal closes up behind him.
I assume Technician and I are running like side by side
Yeah.
towards the portal. I just kind of, as I'm sprinting, just look over to Technician like, what the hell just happened?
Because you guys heard like this crazy ancient like guttural voice come from in front of you, and the creature behind you, you hear the hooves like stomp as the horse slows down. It does like the reining back and then stomping on the ground, and the portal, it's like literally all of it all happens so fast that you're just like, what? Do you go through the portal?
Yes. But I'm going to turn to Lurchik
Yes.
and say, I do not know what happened. Vidar is either a boss or he possibly has the most fire insult ever.
I just sprint through.
Okay.
Same, sprinting through. Yep.
Okay. Zyriel follows you guys, and all of you, you get blown out into a huge forest. A forest of regular sized trees, everything. It smells of pine, and it's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
And Vidar's, the eye that was green, kind of like flickers and then just goes out, and then it kind of like fades back as the normal color.
And you guys arrive. You guys arrive.
Investigate to figure out whereabouts we are.
Sure. You don't know.
None of this seems familiar to me.
I pull out the compass and I look at it.
South or east southeast. One of them just spins, and the other points east.
Which one is pointing east southeast?
The one that has like a sort of black tint to it is pointing is spinning. The big one is pointing east southeast, and then the other the last one is pointing east.
It seems that the compass now can track whether or not that guy is in our plane. I just kind of show the compass having the black arrow spinning. But it looks like we have 2 different directions we can go for the next Soulforged. But it probably makes sense for us to maybe figure out where we are and then yeet stone back to the Warbands.
We should definitely be able to go back to the warbands, assuming we are, in fact, back on our own plane. I'm just going to look up at the sky and try to figure out if we are in the right place.
You are back on your own plane. You don't actually know where you are. But according to his 21 his 21 investigation check and then Sabus's cartographer knowledge, more likely than not, you are in this white area to the west of the warbands, which no one has ever mapped before.
It's map time. No, I have no idea where I am. I've just never even started map. You have no idea where the fuck you are.
And this is when we're going to take our 15-minute break. And we'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Start that. Click that. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Legendary Tales. We're done with our 15-minute break. The group has just arrived on the western edge of the territory of the warbands, and it's a mountain range that is coniferous. What are you guys doing? Let's change the music up a little bit.
We could just yeet stone out of here, right? Like, there's no reason for us to stay here. I believe.
If you,
I believe we borrowed a yeet stone to get to core because we had the emergency yeet out plan. I believe.
Are we on the top of a mountain or like at the foot of the mountain?
like a foot of a mountain.
So it's not like we can see super far or anything.
No.
Are there any like known trails or any beaten paths?
We're in the unmapped section.
Everything that you're looking at one of the most dense forests you've ever seen. And when I say dense forests, I'm talking like the entire ground is covered in pine needles, to the point where you don't know if you're actually walking on the ground or if you're walking on just a huge bed of pine needles.
So looking straight up, what's the canopy like?
The canopy is close enough that there are small gaps between trees, because I don't know if you've seen it, but the trees will only grow as far as they do to barely not touch one another. It's a weird phenomenon, but that's what's happening, except these are all coniferous trees. So it's just pine needles. The sun is clearly shining through it and everything, but...
Adar, perhaps you could use the broom to get just above the tree line to see if there's any notable landmarks, civilization, or anything of that nature. We have no idea where we are, and might just be outside of the warbands, and we don't have to. We could be in Garansk. We could just be outside of a forest. Who knows?
Radar's gonna fly up to the tops of the trees and get a quick peek.
You fly up to the tops of the trees, and you look over, and it's basically endless trees, except about 2 miles south of you. There's a line that is covered in a black smoke. I need all of you to make Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh boy. I'm done.
All of you, after being here for a minute, get a nauseous feeling in your stomach, or for those of you without stomachs, where your stomach should be. And it feels really weird.
That can't be good.
Radar's gonna fly back down after seeing the smoke and feeling this feeling. And say, yes, we should yeet as soon as possible.
Now. Why agree with now?
Who has the stone?
Not Sabas.
Does Ilya have the stone?
Ilya might have the stone.
There appears to be some sort of fire or something to the south, producing a lot of black smoke, which I believe is what is causing this discomfort.
So we should move out of the way of the smoke, or?
Ideally, we should move northeast, which moves us away from the smoke, but moves us still in the direction of the compass.
Perhaps we should send a message to the warbands, and assuming we're on our plane, we might be able to tell them the coordinates of our compass, and if Kuzma by chance can make a compass of his own, he can maybe triangulate where we might be, and perhaps they could try to find us.
Triangulation would not happen with 2 compasses. First of all, you need 3 points of reference. That's why it is triangulate. Second, they would do that with landmarks.
Our point, direction for compass arm 1, direction for compass arm 2, and their point and their compass arm 1 and compass arm 2 would
Without
not
a
allow
central
them to.
reference point, those directions mean nothing. Say, for example, our compass is pointing east, and so is theirs.
Travel. You're right. Ignore me, or I am dumb.
Would
But the second arm would give them away. We have
Technically-
east, southeast, and east.
technically Lower Shik's math is correct, but I don't believe Isaac Newton has been born yet to invent calculus.
DM, how's calculus in this universe?
Zyriel looks at you guys as you're sort of arguing over this, and he says, I believe there's a reason this place is unmapped. I believe what we're feeling is the effects of... He sort of goes, oh. There might be something buried here that makes this anti-life.
Anti-life. You mean unaliving?
Yes.
Zariel, you say this area is unmapped. How do you know where we are?
I don't know. I just do. Have you ever felt something and not understood why?
He mostly feels hungry and does not understand why.
Imagine
He's not
imagine
wrong.
imagine that your hunger told you where food was. The second you got hungry, you could sense where food was. That is this feeling I have. If we are where Technician says we are, that we are in a unmapped area, there might be a reason for that. Listen. There are no birds. There are no noises. Why?
The birds have all gone home to recharge.
I don't think that's what birds do.
You do not know. You are not a bird. Birds are very small flying machines.
Neither are you.
Birds are
Yeah,
very
behind
small
you.
flying machines. I understand aerodynamics. You must recharge the birds. Where do birds go when it rains? They go to recharge.
But in seriousness, I believe there is something wrong here. And there's a reason that no one lives here.
Does Vidar still have that necklace that Kuzma gave him?
Mm-hmm.
Vidar's going to grab the necklace or whatever from his pocket and use it to teleport back to the warbands. Ideally directly into Kuzma's tent if possible.
Okay.
The portal. What's up, bitch?
Did I have to roll something when I did this last time to not die?
No.
So I just show up in Kuzma's tent?
Vidar pulls out the necklace and whoop, it gets pulled into like a weird looking black hole. And whoop, you sort of like land face first in Kuzma's tent looking around as Kuzma looks down at you like,
I need 2 yeet stones, quickly.
okay. And he sort of like goes and he stands up with his cane and he starts like walking back. And he grabs a pair and he goes and hands them to you. Godspeed, quickly.
And then I'm going to yeet back to the party since I know where everyone's at because I was the one that went to the tops of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to yeet back, and then as I get there, I'm going to hold up the spare yeet stone and say, let's go.
Okay. All of you grab hands and you get pulled back into I assume just Kuzma's tent right away again, because that's like the only thing you're thinking about, right?
And immediately once we arrive, Vidar is going to hand the necklace back to Kuzma. Say, I'm probably going to be irresponsible with this if I keep this.
He just immediately starts laughing and takes the necklace and puts it around his own neck, and he says, "Thank you for being honest." And then he just sort of looks at you for a moment. I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Sabis, Vidar, and Technician, all of you sort of have a moment where you sort of get dizzy and you fall to your hands and knees. And you start gagging really hard as a 3-foot-long black ink maggot comes out of your mouth.
No.
Onto the floor.
So basically, I'm just vomiting this thing up. real
Mhm.
quick. Oh, cool. I'm gonna punch the shit out of it to squish the fucking thing.
All right, you're going to touch it.
I mean, I just vomited up a 3-foot maggot that's probably still moving. So yeah, the goal is to squish it, either with a
Okay.
rock or just my own fucking fist,
Um,
because that's disgusting. And her initial reaction is gonna be, "Jesus fucking Christ, what are you doing here? I'm going to kill you." So
you go and you squish it, and this sort of sickly green sort of mist emits out of it when you kill it. Vidar and Technician, what are you doing?
Psychic blade stabbing it.
Sure. You just go over, stab the shit out of it. That same sort of
Which
sick.
leaves no physical wounds.
Oh, yep.
So in theory, it just dies without exploding.
It does die without exploding. Yes. You're right.
As I start seeing them vomit, I step like 10 feet away, like backwards.
I pull the grenade out of my bag. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez.
There's one way to get rid of these. So the only good bug is an exploded bug. Yeah, I'm just going to regular stab it, seeing as that's what I have.
You're just hatcheting it.
Yeah.
You start going ham on it, and that sort of green sickly gas comes out of it, and then they all dissipate into like a sort of weird ash on the floor. And Kuzma's just looking at you like, "What happened while you were gone?"
Tequila, apparently. I have no idea.
You think we might have met Void Soulforged?
Okay.
Oh, and speaking of Soulforged, and point towards Monsieur Dubois.
Did he start vomiting too?
No. He's a paladin, therefore he's immune. Paladins of a certain level are immune to almost everything. Just straight up. Immune to just straight up a lot of stuff. So he's
Were
unaffected.
we able to tell if that was similar to the astral plane maggot, or if that was clearly from the smoke?
It was very similar to the astral plane maggot.
Oh, Lorishik, did you have one of those as well that you just are keeping inside?
You're muted.
I feel a little nauseous still, but don't feel like I need to throw up at all. Perhaps I haven't eaten enough.
We should maybe do exploratory surgery to be sure.
I take another step back and take Casimir's axe off my back and say, as long as I can perform exploratory surgery on you first.
How do I feel after vomiting out this maggot?
Better.
Okay.
Better.
And it's fucking dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm punching it one more time and getting up and then like cleaning my mouth off and like drinking some water to get what I assume is a fucking terrible taste out of my mouth. Like, Jesus Christ, away.
Zyriel turns to Loershik and says, hold on. May I help you?
I'm not sure I need help. What do I need help with?
He sort of looks at you and he says, well, if it happened to them, and it did not happen to me, I never felt sick. There's something inside of you, and we need to remove it. I'll cast Remove Curse on you, but you will probably go through the same process they did. Because, as I know, they're Warforged, are immune to disease and poison like I am. It must be a curse, or some sort of other magical effect. At least permit me to
so
try.
You think there is one of those bugs inside of me?
Yes.
Kuzma, if there is a bug inside of me, would you prefer to capture this one instead of us killing it, so perhaps you can study it?
He goes like this for a second. Yes. I agree. I will.
That I can help with.
Rep, can you...
Loerchik, if you're going to spew, and then Rep is going to cast Snare on the ground right in front of Loerchik, spew here.
I look at Zyriel. I guess I have a target. Feel free to try to pull it from me.
He literally pulls his hand up and it starts glowing with this like red fire, and he hits you on the back. And as he casts Remove Curse on you, you feel that same feeling where they just like out of nowhere they're just like whoa, and they just immediately, and you retch out this disgusting black ooze covered maggot.
Is mine bigger?
It is actually.
Oh, nice. Great.
And you vomit out this huge black covered ichor covered maggot. That's just, as soon as hits the snare captures it, and it's like wriggling around trying to figure it out. Like you can see that it's struggling, and like the ooze on the other one sort of dissipated as soon as it died, but the ooze on this one sort of comes off the sides, and you can see that it's like almost translucent on the inside. And it's just sort of wriggling around.
Capture it before it tries to escape the snare. A jar, a bag, a something.
Kuzma's just sort of sitting there flabbergasted for a moment. Oh, okay. He runs back and he grabs a large crate that has metal bars surrounding the outside, but it also, like, on the inside, it's also metal. He sort of says, Vidar, come help me. And he grabs this metal crate. Do you help him, Vidar, or no?
Yes, but begrudgingly, only because he was asked by name. Does like one of those like anyone else? Why me? And then without saying anything, goes and helps.
He would ask Loershik, but Loershik, like, he's doing this in the process of Loershik, like, retching and trying to figure his stuff out, and then Zyriel's sort of, like, making sure the spell went off correctly. And you grab this metal crate, and Zyriel moves in, picks it up, and puts it inside the crate, and the crate just sort of jiggles, like, slightly as this maggot is, like, put inside of it. I am sorry. That must have been very painful.
It happens more often than you might think when I somehow overeat. So it wasn't too bad. Speaking of which, I need something to cleanse my mouth. I think I'm going to go to stall and get some rations to eat. And I just like start to meander out of the tent.
Yeah, Savis, what are you doing? Oh yeah, you went in to get a drink, right?
It's too bad you gave up your brand.
Literally doing
Those
anything to
were
get the fucking taste out of my mouth and then try and I just get the memory of vomiting up what should not have been vomited up out, basically. Just get rid of that.
Okay. What'd you say, Vidar? You too bad you got rid of your bran flakes.
Yeah, I mean, if you needed something to eat right now. Vidar, though, while it's the thing is going into the crate, is going to be looking at it a little bit more. Does it look like the big one? And does the black oozy stuff on this one look like the Molasses River black oozy stuff?
It very much they're exactly the same.
My first guess was that this was from inhaling the smoke when we arrived. This appears to be different.
I peek my head back into the tent and say, Kuzma, is there any way you can trace where someone has yeeted from?
There's no way to track them through hyperspace. I'm just kidding. No.
Eat space.
Well, the yeeting technology is only available to us. The magic we have not expanded outward. Why?
We were in a place that we were unfamiliar with, and it might be valuable to know where it was. Zyreel said that there was no life. Very interesting, and perhaps a good place to explore. Perhaps there's Soulforged there. When we pulled out the compass while we were there, it pointed in two directions, one of which would indicate that it could be in that area that we were in.
Interesting. We have 4 now, correct?
Soulforged? Yes. Grenades? No.
So that means that there are 2 left plus Void.
2 left plus Void or Void Soulforged?
2 plus Void Soulforged. So that would explain why all 3 arms are pointing in different directions.
Kuzma's the one who made the compass for me, right?
Yep.
Like originally, he put it together. I walk back into the tent and I show him the compass and I point out that one of the arrows has turned dark black, or tinted black, and I say, this arrow, it has changed color, and it seems to always point at the direction of this creepy knight-looking dude who rides a very deformed horse. He can tear the sky around us and treat it like a portal. We assumed it was Void Soulforged, but did you intend to make this one track?
You have to remember,
I think we might have lucked out.
the orb, the thing that we turned into the compass, was made of the raw energy that the Soulforged are made from. That's how it tracks them. Because infusing them with raw Soulforged energy is unique in our plane. So wherever it sees is whatever it sees. The Void Soulforged is made of the same energy as Zyreel, as Chastolet, as Vizim, as all of them. They are all cut from the same cloth, as they say. Just need to be careful.
Technician, we should probably get our items back from wherever we left them. I'd like to get to my
We
cat
should,
sitter,
but
sorry
let
for
me
all
finish
this.
taking. Let me finish taking my notes here, and Rep is going to just finish jotting in his notebook. Soulforged, made from cloth? Question mark.
He does not understand idioms. That's it.
Picks up chestlet. What are you made of?
What kind of cloth are you made of?
Turns out it's just polyester. Turns out this entire time they've just been finding whatever the hell artificial fabrics are.
The real
They're all-
magic
they're all-
was nylon.
The entire story is just in Technician's imagination, and he's playing with puppets.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Not next time, damn it!
Okay, so Loeshik and Technician are going to get your stuff back from, Casimir has all your stuff. He's the one that held on to all of it for you.
Loeshik, do not forget to give back Casimir's axe to him.
Well, he'll get it back when he hands me my hammer. You should be sure to remember to grab your spyglass. It's probably worth looking at that reel through it.
Of course. We're gonna go. We're gonna go to the guy with the stuff and grab
We're
the
gonna
stuff.
skip along to Casimir holding hands.
Rainbows, buttercups, and etc., etc., etc. Puppy dogs and stuff and other things are happy.
As we go along, I look over to Technician. Do you know how many people Casimir has probably killed with this axe?
At least 16. That axe is relatively new. I gave it to him.
You gave him this axe?
Yes, it was a gift. I found it underwater in the cave. I had no use for it, but it seemed like he could actually apply it very well, so I gave it to him.
But you
And then he
gave him this
customized
axe
it. He customized it,
many
yes.
months ago.
Yes.
Do you think he's only killed 16 people since then?
I said at least 16.
He
It is not
told
my
me-
job to watch Casimir.
He told me he's killed at least 10,000.
Probably in his lifetime.
I think he might be lying.
Would you put it past a barbarian to embellish his kill count?
No,
Of course.
You're right.
Of course, that does make him a more fearsome foe. Lorchik, is honesty always the best policy if it can be used for the means of intimidation or chicanery?
As a friend Technician, yes, it is the best policy. But as a politician, it is not the best policy.
Interesting. I believe I have learned something. This is a valuable lesson.
Don't go around lying to people, Technician.
I like your outfit.
Thank you. I just kind of like tug on my robes a little bit as we are continuing to walk along to
got 'em.
Casimir. I
have
go
done the lie
silent and
correctly?
continue walking. Yeah, something like that. You might want to work on it.
Okay. And off we go to Casimir.
Yeah, so you go to Casimir's tent, and his tent is actually a little bit bigger than it was the last time you saw him. And it's actually not a tent anymore. They have started constructing proper buildings on the Blackstone Fortress instead of having these large canvas tents or leather tents that they've had forever. They have started constructing real buildings. And Casimir's house is one of the first ones that they did because he coordinated the exodus. He coordinated everyone, all the refugees. He's basically taken the charge, taken a lot of responsibility after meeting you guys. And yeah, you arrived there fairly quickly, and his house is large because his wife is a large creature. And surprisingly, who answers the door? He's not here. What do you want? And it's his wife is an 11-foot tall storm giant.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
You're looking ravishing today.
Thank you. What do you want from him?
I want to return this axe and to get my hammer back. And I gestured to technician.
I have also stored some things with Casimir while I was away, on a mission, including my steel defender. A bear? To you, it would be a small bear.
She points down as Defender runs out the door and tackles you.
Hello. Hello, defender. Hello. Who is a good bear? Who is a good bear? Who is a good bear? Yes, growl, growl.
And she literally goes like back, and she brings back like the pack, the whole bag the technician gave her. He gives it back to her. She gives it back to him, and then Larishik, she literally like the hammer in her hand. It looks like a regular like craftsman's hammer, and she just holds one hand out. And she hands you back your hammer. I will tell him you said thank you.
But did I?
Thank you for watching our things while we were in enemy territory where we had to avoid detection. And I had a very nasally voice.
Well, I am very happy for you.
How are you? You seem grumpy.
What do you
nudge technician?
What do you mean?
I mean, you seem in high spirits. How are you?
I am fine. I am confused as to why you're asking this question of me.
I care.
Yeah, make a deception check.
I think she just really misses Casimir.
I'm sorry, what? Deception?
You want to make a deception check? Because I know that's a damn lie. Mister, I don't have empathy.
That you made me not have empathy twice.
You were the one that left your character up to me. Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And then it's not my fault that you rolled poorly. She leans down, gets face to face with technician, and says, "Lie to my face again, and I swear, you'll be unrecognizable when my husband comes to pick up your remains."
I am trying.
I assume that the technician is like super embarrassed, right?
I mean, that would require empathy.
That's true.
So no.
It's just.
I am embarrassed on behalf of technician.
Do you say anything, Lorishik, or no?
I am so sorry. He's learning lots of new things. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I just start like kind of shoving technician like away from the door and outside. And are there like any this newly built structure? Did they plant any like rose bushes or anything right outside the front?
I'm gonna be real with you.
Motorbikes.
I'm gonna be real with you. I could not actually hear anything that you said just now. So if you could repeat that for me.
With their new house, did they plant any like flowers or rose bushes or anything out front?
There are, yes.
I just pick one of their flowers and hand it to her.
She squints at you. She takes a flower and she smells it. I'm also going to tell him that you tore up his flower bed as well.
You can. Him and I can fight it out. I hope you have a wonderful day. I just like kind of usher technician away from the door.
Goodbye. Enjoy your day. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Vidar, were you there for any of that, or what were you doing?
No, I'm still hanging out with Kuzma, kind of looking at the maggot thing.
Sabas, were you doing anything special for that, or no?
Not really.
Okay. Just wondering if you were there.
I have all my stuff. Basically, at this point, just going to get food. Switched out the shit. Let's go get some food.
Fair enough.
Haven't eaten in a hot minute.
Vidar, you're sitting there watching this maggot, and a Lorishika technician. Are you going back to Kuzma's place or no?
I want to go back near that area at the very least. But before I do, I'd like to stop at Rendo's Rations and buy some meat from Emerald.
Emerald just looks at you. He says, "You know that you don't get charged for this, right? That this is yours."
In the Wardens, we don't charge?
Fair enough.
Oh.
He looks at you and then he's like, it's 2 silver for the whole thing.
I give him 2 silver.
He just smiles. Thank you.
How you doing, Dad?
I'm good. It was a little stressful, those day or so that you were gone, but it's been good. Vidar was here
I
for
threw
a
up
bit.
a giant black maggot.
You should go see a physician or a cleric if that's the case.
I saw a paladin. It's okay.
Oh, close enough.
He pulled it out of me. Although he might have been responsible for it going inside of me in the first place. Anywho.
Adventuring. It is what it is. He sort of laughs and helps
Well, I
one
need
of the people that...
I need to go work. I just start to walk away.
Vidar, as you're sitting there, Kuzma sort of looks at it weird. Vidar, I need you to open it. It does not appear to be struggling anymore.
Open the maggot or the...
The cage. We need to look at it.
And I'm going to assume that at this point Vidar vaguely explained the giant maggot
Mhm.
that chased them. And also explained the fact that the cave that they went through had the whole, yeah, it looks kind of like your eyeballs glowing stuff. And also before they get to this point, Vidar probably would have started asking about the necklace and why he shouldn't have been using it in the first place. I feel like there was some sort of like deal with a god thing going on there or something.
He looks at you and he says, well, the issue with looking at it is every time you do so, I lose my memories. They just go. This is linked to me and my soul. So I have consigned myself to mediocrity in the long run. I have found an apprentice. I have teaching him things I know. But every time we use it, it drains a piece of me away. Not big, very small.
Then it is best that you have it and not me.
But if you need it, do not hesitate to ask. My memory is a small price to pay for the world to be saved.
Vidar's gonna go stand next to the cage door or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kuzma and do like the whole like, you sure kind of look. And then open the cage door.
You open it, and there is... The maggot was in there before, and the bottom of the thing had filled up with that black ichor. And now, there looks like a husk or something in the shape of the maggot in there, and something wriggling around inside the husk of the maggot.
There appears to be something now inside of the maggot.
It does, or what the maggot used to be.
Is there any chance that the husk looks kind of like the petrified blood vessels and stuff like that? How that was kind of a thing? Did this basically turn into that, and then something's inside of it now? Kuzma, what do you make of this?
Whatever is in there is not ideal. It feels wrong to me.
Is there anything further that you can do with researching this, or is there actually benefit to keeping this still?
The problem is I don't know what is in there. Because the husk appears to be a skin of some sort. Almost like a cocoon. Just be ready to kill whatever in there.
And Vidar is going to materialize one of his psychic blades and stand there. Now what?
Let's look in the cocoon. There's a line. And you can see like a little crack appeared like all the way through the bottom of the husk. And there's something wriggling around on the inside. Who all's there right now? I would assume that Loeshek and Technician have come back within the next couple seconds.
Yeah, we were at least on our way back.
Okay. Sabas, are you over there or no?
Yeah.
So you're also watching this happen?
Yeah, basically just grabbed a quick snack and then came out to hang out with everyone again.
Okay.
Just anything to get rid of maggot.
So you're looking in the inside of this thing, and there's like this husk of this maggot, and there's something wriggling around on the inside. Vidar pulled out his psychic blades. Are you doing anything?
Waiting. See what's gonna happen.
Okay. What are you doing, Vidar?
Vidar is going to take out an actual dagger in his offhand and kind of cut along the crack.
Okay.
And the whole time kind of making like eye contact up with Kuzma, like, this is what we're doing, right?
Yes. And he just sort of looks at you, and he says, just be ready. And you cut open the husk, and you pull it open, and this is what you see.
I don't know what that is, but I know that at some point it was in a tree and fell down and hit every ugly branch on the way down.
Kuzma.
Wait, I think I have said that wrong.
Kuzma, for the first time ever, gets a look on his face, and all of the color drains from his face. We do not kill it. We have to send it back to the astral plane. Close the lid.
Vidar recloses the thing and the psychic blade kind of poofs away.
What is it?
So, in planes outside of our own, the rules of the natural world exist for a reason. Gods, titans, other beings that are so large that they can only exist within specific ecosystems happen naturally there. This is, for lack of a better term, an aborted god. They don't normally come this small, which is alarming. But if we send it back to the astral plane, it will not wreak havoc on our own.
That is easy enough.
We have already killed 3 of them. Is that an issue?
You have not killed 3 of them. You've killed the host. This one manifested the host here. And he sort of touches Vidar on the shoulder, and for once you can see he sort of holds you there, and you feel this energy wash over you as you see. You can look into, you can see what Kuzma sees for the first time ever, and it's a bunch of like older people sitting around his fire, and they're all sort of looking at it, and you can see this sort of wispy tendril connecting to the box from literally everywhere, all around. And you can see that the pile of ashes have like a very weak like string going to them that's sort of broken to each of them. He says, you see the strings, Vidar. each of those strings was connecting it to the plane. And every string that moves past it connects it to a different area within the cosmos. And unfortunately, this is the strongest string here. So we need to take this and send it to the astral plane. There it will thrive and do whatever it needs to do, but it will leave us alone. Because in our world, this exists only when it comes from outside. And this thing eats temper and generates new life from it. Because this being exists naturally in the mythos of the eye.
You wouldn't happen to have a way to send things to the astral plane, would you?
I do not.
I know one way.
Do you?
Yes. Amazingly enough, Lawerche had mentioned something, and I instructed him not to do it before, because it could cause exactly this problem. But we were in the astral plane at the time. Recursive pocket dimensions usually create small openings to the astral plane and suck things that are within a few feet of them directly in. It would be simple enough for me to construct a rudimentary bag of holding. If we were to put a portable hole into this bag of holding, it would open up a small opening to the astral plane.
I have a bag of holding that I would be willing to part with to make this work.
There is no need. I can create a temporary one
So,
out of any bag.
so we need to find a portable hole then.
Do you believe a hole created by a rope trick would work? In which case, we would only be sacrificing the rope and the bag.
I agree. I believe that would work, but we should also move away from the buildings. From what I understand, the result can be explosive.
Very well. Locate a place and we can make this happen.
All right, follow me. And he sort of like starts walking with his cane out to some of the outer reaches, down the giant elevator, into the fields, away from the crops and all the people. And he hands you like one of his little leather bags that Kuzma just has a bunch of bags just full of like random stuff that he dumps out. And he dumped one out and he just hands you the bag. I assume you have a rope, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to take out the rope, and we're going to quick infuse the bag to be a bag of holding.
Okay.
Now the real trick here. Okay. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're gonna have the crate. We're going to put the infused bag of holding on top of it open. We're going to tie a rock to one end of the rope, throw the rock into the bag, and then cast rope trick on the rope.
Okay.
As it's going into the bag, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. What do you want? Because I don't want to be within 10 feet of this thing. I know that. Kuzma, stand back.
He backs up. He's like, okay.
Sorry, is everybody here for this, or is it just me and Kuzma?
I would assume everyone's here for this, right?
When Kuzma was talking about not being near the buildings, Vidar conveniently needed to go talk to Emerald since he spent a few days working with him, and so he probably was worried about me. I should probably go check in and make sure that he knows that I'm okay.
It is good that you are practicing your social skills, Vidar.
And then when he gets there, as to Emerald, I'm just avoiding everyone else. I hope you've been well.
Please tell Emerald I said, "What's drugs, my dealer?"
What do you do, Lorshik?
While we're around in the portable holes in the ground or whatever, and I see that technician's about to try to throw something into the hole, I tell him that it's too bad that Vidar isn't here, because he's very good at throwing things into things he shouldn't throw them into.
Sabas, are you there for this?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I have no idea what the fuck to do about it. I know nothing with the astral plane, whatever this monstrosity is, but I'm here.
So
I have a knife.
Rep Rap is setting up, and he's sort of weighing the stone, trying to think about throwing the stone into the bag. And he pauses for a second. He goes, "Oh, I have done a dumb." And he goes over and he grabs the bag of holding off of the top of the crate. He's going to set up the rope trick just above the bag,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sorry, just above the crate. So it's casting rope trick. Where's my rope trick? It just is a spell I can never find when I'm trying to use it. Rope trick. Just above the crate.
Okay.
And then he's going to underhand the bag of holding into the rope trick hole from about 10 feet away. And then, take 3 steps back.
Okay. Everyone that's there, Sabas, Lawyer Schick, and Technician, make a perception check, please.
I saw that one trying to be a 1.
It was almost
It
there.
was trying. It was almost there.
All 3 of you see as he opens up the rope trick, you see a very bony hand come up and pull the rope trick into the bag of holding, and the bag of holding explodes with the crate inside of it, and everything is gone.
Ta-da! That is that. We have sent that. You said it was an aborted god? We have sent the aborted god back to the astral plane.
Kuzma just sort of has his mouth open, and he looks at Rep Rap, and he goes, "No, we did not. You all saw,
but the ta-da.
you saw the hand, correct?
Yes.
No.
It wasn't supposed to be real, but now he has.
Is that the legend?
It is the legend. He has one now.
Oh no.
But as I like to say about a lot of things in the warbands, not my elephants, not my circus, and neither is it yours."
I feel like if 2 legends want to have a fight with gods, that is their business.
Exactly. It's not our business. We are not paid enough to deal with it.
Hopefully there will not be consequences.
Kuzma just looks at you and says, "It's out of our hands. We can cross that bridge when we get there, friend."
I am just saying, I have already pissed off one powerful entity today, and my only reasoning was, I am trying.
All I have to say about that is try harder, my friend.
I feel sadness. No. Wait. No, I feel nothing.
Lorshik, what are you doing?
Just sitting there munching on the meat that I got from Renault's rations. And so I don't quite understand this. The hand that we saw, whose hand was that exactly?
The bagman cometh.
You've mentioned this guy before.
There is a legend. For those that mess around with bags of holding, an adventurer lives in there. Had once tried to hide himself in a bag of holding, and having hid himself in a bag of holding, became lost, trying to find his way out through other bags of holding. Theoretically, all bags of holding connect to the same pocket dimension. Your stuff just happens to be closest to your opening. That's why you could find it when you put your hand in. But occasionally, the bagman finds you and your stuff. So those who abuse the bag of holding, he comes and takes them away. But in this case, we did not exactly abuse a bag of holding. But he may have seen it that way.
So the bagman has an aborted god, and the aborted god did not make it back to the astral plane.
Possibly.
There's
I am not about to go check.
There's also something to be said about the bagman as well. According to legends, he has one of everything that's ever existed, including the ability to resurrect said god, or keep him hostage, or her hostage, or even turn them to their own devices.
Well, that's sufficiently horrifying.
But as
Thank
I
you.
say, not my elephants, not my circus.
The legend also says occasionally the bagman will leave additional trinkets in your supplies. But the bagman giveth, and the bagman taketh. The legend was speaketh by Lithbeth the Great. I don't know why he talks that way. Sorry, what?
Is Zyriel here with us?
He
Did
is.
Watch this happen too.
He is. He's just like,
I look over to Zyriel and ask. So I still don't fully understand what kind of Soulforged you are.
neither do I. From my understanding, you were supposed to tell me.
Well, I thought it had something to do with blueberries because everybody else smells like what they can do.
I already demonstrated I am truth. You cannot lie to me.
But I thought that was just a paladin thing.
No. They have a spell for that. I can do it whenever I want to.
Okay. You might come in handy.
From what I understand as well, we are supposed to go see my Soulforger, who resides in Artstadt. Because, as they say, or as you say, I am unawakened. Where my counterparts...
Out of context, out of character. Who was his Soulforger? You don't know, right?
You don't know. You've not met his
Okay.
Soulforger yet.
Cool.
And the only location we have to search in Artstadt is a different location that we were given for Illisan, actually.
Yep.
It's a large quarry covered by a false forest. Illisan's workshop is in the east along the edge of it.
So a little bit of meta and maybe some retconning here. When we first met Zyriel and the what's his face, his big boy buddy
Stein.
We walked into that room, and you had first described it as similar to when we met I believe it was the progenitor. Like, you had mentioned that it looked similar to like runes and stuff that you might expect to be activated when if Vidar was in the room. Vidar was selling meat, and then when we started the next episode, we were in the prison essentially. I didn't clarify, like, are they both still true?
Yes.
Are
So
both
the
of
way
those
it worked
scenarios still
is
true? Okay.
you went through the giant slab wooden door, and there was a room
Yeah.
covered in runes, right? And then you went down a staircase that led all the way down into the prison. That was my bad for not describing it correctly. So you did go through that runic room, but it was connected to the prison because it's ancient.
So back in character, it's likely we need to take Vidar to Artstadt and go and see Stein again and go back into the holding area before the prison.
You are suggesting that we go back to Core.
Well, but
Unfortunately.
if we go back to core, they are only searching for you, correct? Maybe we get.
They may be searching for us in disguise as well. We would not be able to go there without being polymorphed back into human form. Um, or Ilya and Savis might be able to go there without being hunted.
I'm not certain how much
However-
longer that protection is going to last.
That's true. But maybe if we go with Ilya and Sabis and me and Widar, we might have a bit of protection.
You
And,
must
well-
take Vidar. He is the conduit that would allow you to communicate with the Soulforger.
You say they're called Yeet Stones, correct? If we can you have to have been there to go there, right?
Yeah.
Correct, unless there is some protection or shield or magical barrier that prevents you from eating into it.
Well, as far as we know, we can go directly into that room. We don't even have to go into core itself.
We would still be detected and hunted immediately. Vidar included. Ilya and Savis, not so much, and yourself, not so much.
Well, tell me about.
At a minimum, we would either need to move Vidar temporarily to a different plane of existence, or polymorph Vidar in a way that he would become undetectable. We could talk to not Cheslet. I can't remember his name. No, it's not one of the Soul Forgers. It was that
D.
Darcy. We could talk to Darcy
Darcy.
and ask her to make another not polyjuice potion.
Tell me about the other Soul Forgers. What happened when you saw them? Because you say he's a key. Those are the words you say. So if he's a key, that could lead to a door, and we could go to another place. If we're what I'm saying is, if we're only there for less than a second, what is the chance that Iwan is constantly paying attention to his compass?
It's less about him being a key and more of he is the one who can activate it. And if he activates it, you would meet your soul forger. And who knows how long you might take to actually talk to them.
When we've met other Soul Forgers in the past, it did appear that we moved into a private realm that existed only for them, typically of some sort of flowing or large open space with a central plinth. It does stand to reason that using Vidar as the key to activate the runic room so that you may talk to your Soul Forger moves you into a different plane of existence. Vidar, does that track to you?
Vidar actually wasn't here for most of this because he was talking.
I have not been paying attention. Vidar has not been here. So
We should go ask Widar his opinion on it. Because if we could yeet immediately, get there, and then be transferred into where the Soul Forger is, the chances that Ivan would even know about it would be very low.
but never zero.
But it is a risk we need to take, is it not? We have to take it. It's not an option.
Very well. Let us go talk to Vidar.
Yeah, you guys make your way back. It takes you about 15 minutes to get back up to the top area where the cart is. And Vidar, you're just sitting there chilling, talking to Emerald. They come and ask you.
Oh, how convenient. You are still alive and didn't get blown up. I assume that means things went well.
In a manner of speaking. The aborted god is no longer our problem.
Don't even need more details. That sounds perfect.
So, Vidar, when we go see my Soulforge, do we stay on this plane or do we not know?
does Vidar know? It is kind of unique. In some places, it feels like the Soulforger showed up and came to us, and in other times it felt like we went to them.
Maybe it's a per Soulforger thing, but I would assume that if my life is at risk, that the Soulforger would be able to bring us somewhere else. Because what did they all look like? Because if they are physically linked to a place in the world, Nilhund would have been underwater. Did you see the Soulforger in Nilhund?
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we did, but indeed that felt like it was in a different plane. However, when we spoke to the progenitor originally, it felt like he appeared into our realm.
Maybe.
Is Kuzma still here?
Yeah, Kuzma's here.
Kuzma, do you know if across planes the same geographic areas are linked? So if we were talking to the progenitor and we were transferred to another plane, we are technically in the same position between the two planes. Correct? So would that reason that if we go and say, see trusted sister, and have her bring us into the plane, and then we yeet to the runic room while in trusted sister's plane, could we technically yeet to this Soulforger's position on their plane?
No, because you've never been there. You've
But
never.
we have been there on a different plane.
Yes, but the E-stones do not work from plane to plane.
But still the same position.
Technically, yes, but your logic works semantically, but in practice, I don't believe it works that way.
Different Z coordinate.
Your travel plans are very likely to cause causal errors. Can we use 3 Yeet stones to triangulate our position in a different plane of existence?
Ugh.
Vidar's going to be sitting here listening to all these conversations and just be like, so we know where the next Soulforger is?
We do. You have not been there yet. You skipped
where
that
is
part.
Where is this at?
You remember the labyrinth with the floor that had acid. And also the definitely not treasure chests.
Yes, I remember these things.
The room just before it was in fact made to look very much like the one we found the progenitor in.
That might be concerning if when we met Progenitor he came to our plane. The same might happen there. How secure is the room?
Relatively. It is guarded by a giant man, assuming he is still alive.
He is.
The room itself can only be accessed by the giant man, or by a voice.
If we were in theory to be able to get in, would we have enough time to get it back out if we were, say, under attack again?
We need to remember, though. Did you say second sister? What did you call her?
Trusted sister.
Did she send you somewhere else? Because if she brought you there, did she send you right back to where you were, or did she send you somewhere else?
It's hard to tell.
It was my interpretation that we never left. And that we were just mentally in a different plane, but physically still present. At the very least, Draug's father did not seem surprised that our bodies had not moved.
So it does seem that their temperament also affects their ability to bring you in and out of where they are.
It may be possible that the best course of action is to just hope, go, act quickly, and then yeet back out as soon as possible. It's possible that Yvonne would have tracked us and started to come for us, and we leave before he finds anything.
Did you get a good look at his compass that he uses to track you?
Yes, he was standing pretty close while we were hiding in the rope trick.
Is it like Loershik's compass, who has more than one arrow, more than one finger on it?
Did it?
No, it just had one.
No, it seemed like as though it was only tracking one thing at a time.
Maybe a distraction is in order. Maybe you send Loershik and Technician to the eastern edge of Artstadt. Wait for a day for Ivan to start going that way. Then, myself, Widar, Sabis, and Ilya go to Kor. That way he cannot go both ways. We need to just make sure that Loershik and Technician are closer to him than the four of us are. You do understand? From a tactics point, when I went to combat school, it's easier if you have to make two choices. You're always going to go to the one that is closer.
We would become a distraction.
Pull Yvonne away from Kor. Then by the time he knows that we are there in Kor, it's too late and we're already gone.
That is a sound
I'm
plan.
the meat now.
It would not necessarily have to be you. If we are simply there to cause a distraction, isn't it better if only one of us goes?
Whoever is the fastest, I would assume, of the three of you.
Well, I believe you're right. In the potential event that you have the drop on you and you become unconscious or become trapped, it would benefit us to have someone there to make sure the other gets out safely.
Oh, wait. Maybe there's something we have not tried yet. You say you go unconscious, correct? Or you have gone unconscious in the past?
Yes, for multiple reasons.
What if I tell... what was his name? The big dude?
Stein.
Stein. What if we yeet into the city, tell Stein what we're doing, and he takes us somewhere else? Like, physically moves our bodies away.
You mean that when we're talking to the Soulforged?
Yes.
Or Soulforger?
Whoever's in the city, talking to the Soulforge, if our bodies are not moved, Stein comes in and takes us somewhere else. And maybe even have one of us that does not go into the room. So me and Widar are the only ones that go in the room. We go unconscious. Sabis, Ilya, and Stein grab our bodies and take us away.
It is not a terrible plan. However, Ilya is not here to agree to it. As far as we know, Ilya is still in the astral plane.
Yes, but he is quite resourceful and driven by his nose. So I have faith that he will get back to us soon.
It is also possible, though, that we don't lose consciousness. As if the room is similar to the progenitor's room, we did not lose consciousness there. In which case, not having Stein open the door and leaving the door sealed may be more beneficial.
But then in that case, we just yeet into the room, or just below the room. You and I walk into the room, figure out if we go unconscious, whatever. Sabis and Ilya come up from behind, and we figure it out.
There is one other thing we could try. I could give you the ability to create an hole. so that if you come in and are detected, you can immediately jump and hole to hide, as we did before. It works better if there's a body of water to create a break in the connection, but that might not be an option there.
Do you remember at the base of the stairs? It was very humid. Maybe there's an entrance to that place we did not see. There could be water in there as well. Maybe we should just save this conversation for when Ilya gets back. We discuss with him what he wants, what we need to do. We have many plans. We just need to narrow it down to what we want to do, and I believe that all of them are good.
Interestingly enough, the easiest thing to do would be to talk to the Soulforger and see what they are capable of.
Maybe we are thinking too much about it. Why don't we go have a drink? Wait for Ilya to come back.
How is
I do
Ilya
not
gonna get
imbibe.
back? How is Ilya gonna get back?
He was with Planeswalker, was he not?
Skink?
Yes.
Skink can just walk him right over to us?
Yes. Did you not see her ability
why-
to do that?
Why?
She was wearing an
It could've
amulet
just-
of the plains.
So she could have just walked us here?
Yeah. You did not ask, and I did not question it.
I turn around and just walk to the nearest place that serves meat.
It's okay. I like walking.
Conveniently, since you guys approached Vidar at Emerald, you are literally.
I go behind the counter of Renault's rations and sit down with my back against the front counter, and I'm just eating whatever meat is near me.
Did I cause offense somehow? I did not mean to, Loeshik.
Oh no, not at all. Sometimes I think we are just stupider than we look.
I mean, that could be said about everyone, to be fair. You're always stupid until you prove that you're not. Even me, especially me. What are you saying, technician?
I was gonna go do a special thing, but we're not done with this yet. So, technician needs to just track down like jewelry can be used as a casting focus, correct?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. How about something like a brass ring or something like that?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Just go track down one of those. Something moderately priced, not too flashy.
Sure. It's like a couple silver.
Okay. It's 10 to 1?
Yep.
Or 100 to 1? 10 to 1. Okay.
You gonna put rope trick on it?
No.
Oh.
And I can't do it until my next long rest anyway, but yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave this episode of Soulforged, because we're right about that time. So we will see you next week. Hopefully Gareth is feeling better, so he'll be here. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being here. I hope everyone has a great week. Do the right thing. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye!